So today we're going to be discussing 50 years later, The Omen, one of the greatest horror movies of all time, and we'll be discussing why it still works today, why Damien is probably the creepiest kid of all time. In fact, every creepy kid needs to take notes, and if it still holds up now in 2026. So let's get to it. So, everybody, as you know, we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of The Omen, one of the most classic films of all time. And just in case you don't know the plot synopsis here, well, I'll give you a little fix. Here we go. A powerful diplomat named Robert Thorne, played by the great Gregory Peck, secretly adopts a baby after his wife's child dies at birth. And the reason why this is a wrong move is because this baby was none other than Damien. The real plot really begin is he the Antichrist? And this is one of the reasons why the movie still works for me. It's a slow burn build because you don't know, as far as like Gregory Peck or Lee Emmerich's characters go, if he's not the Antichrist, because you got to think like he was raised 5 years or so by these people. So they're looking at him as that's their kid. So they don't want to believe anything that anybody else tells them about him, which I can't blame them. But that's the point. So when you get to the birthday scene where the nanny comes out and says, "It's all for you, Damien," which we all know and love, but I probably can't show this on YouTube because I'll probably get kicked off. But it is one of the most classic horror deaths of all time. It's effective. It makes you know what Damien is actually doing, and it makes you realize that Damien is something else that the parents don't realize at first. Which, I mean, that's one deleted scene I'd love to see. Okay, well, yeah, no, the nanny hung herself. I mean, you know, it's what it is. I mean, there's cake inside. It's fine. So that brings me to why Damien is probably the creepiest kid of all time. He takes the creepiest kid championship ever. Damien does not lift a finger to kill these people. He looks at them awkwardly as if he knows how you're going to die. And not only that, animals hate him. Scene where he goes to the zoo is nightmare fuel. The whole baboons and animals attack the car because they already know, like, this kid is evil. Like, he does not need to be around here, especially around us. If I was Robert Thorne at that point, I'm done. I'm sorry. I'd be like, okay, you know what? Maybe you got a point. Even though it's my kid, I raised him, bathed him, changed the diaper. I know. But that's the point. That's the beauty of this film. You still don't know. Even though you as a viewer have a good idea of like, okay, this kid might actually be the Antichrist. The music in this film is iconic. It's just as iconic as Halloween, Psycho, A Nightmare on Elm Street. It just gets stuck in your head. It's an earworm. What makes it so brilliant in the film is that when they're raising up the tension, like, it just gets more and more crazy. And you don't know what they're saying because they're saying it in Latin, which is more satanic, honestly, which I mean, you believe what you believe, and that's fine. We don't discriminate on this channel. Like, trust me, you believe what you want to believe, and that's A-okay with me. At the same time, this is one of the best scores that has ever been made in horror movie history. Oh, Jerry Goldsmith also did Alien, Total Recall, and Mulan, the Disney film. So yeah, the guy's got some cred here. Now, here's where things get a little wild here. So I told you in the beginning of the video, the behind the scenes stories, right? Now, because the Omen was so famously cursed, for example, a lot of the people that were actually included in this film were actually struck by lightning. That is crazy. The plane that was originally chartered last minute actually crashed. So it's almost like a Final Destination thing, which actually really get to hear very soon. And there were also plenty of animal attacks on this movie, which is like wild because, I mean, most of the time when you hire an animal person who is supposed to be, you know, the guy or the girl, you just trust them, right? Well, apparently the animals did not trust them. So there was plenty of animal attacks on this one. Almost as if to say, like, maybe you shouldn't make a movie about the Antichrist. I don't know. So with that being said, we have to talk about some of the death scenes in here because they're one of the most iconic death scenes of all time. You know, I can't probably show the one with the Nanny hanging herself. And also, I think it's kind of funny that I can't show one hanging themselves, but I can show someone getting decapitated. Hi, YouTube. How you doing? Watch me get away with it. The ones I can show, which is weird, show the priest being impaled. It's one of the most iconic things in horror movie history. In fact, they redo it in the Omen remake, which is damn near a shot for shot, which I would not recommend go watching that. And then there's a decapitation scene. And this is where I was getting at with Final Destination. I think this is where they take reference from that. Because there's just something that makes this car go backwards, and then boom, people are dead. You know, that's just what it is. So we have to move on to why The Omen is such a classic. One is atmosphere, like I mentioned earlier. It's just a slow dread. And a lot of people might not call this movie slow, but I do. I think it's a slow burn, period. Two is mystery. You're discovering the truth about Damien all along. Three, religious horror done right. Because it doesn't take advantages of things like, you know, like Stigmata back in the 90s. And like, no. You leave me alone on that. Especially with like all these demonic possession films. Like, these movies suck. I'm sorry, but they just do. Very few of them are good. But this one kicks ass. And the reason why, it takes a biblical prophecy seriously. Now, this movie was such a hit, you know, it launched sequels, obviously. I mean, like, you know, we got the Omen 2, Damien, and we got the Omen 3, The Final Conflict. We even got the Omen 4, which is released on USA Network. It was called The Awakening, which is... And we got the Omen remake, which was literally a shot-for-shot remake of this. It was almost like Psycho in 98, which I don't know why you would ever want to make a remake of that, like where it's literally shot for shot. Like, I don't get that. No matter how talented the people were, I don't understand why you'd make a remake like that, because you're not going to hit us the same way that the first film did. You're just not. I don't care if it's updated graphics. It doesn't matter to me. The only time that works is usually in video games. So that's all the reasons why it works for me. Because if I had to take some cons out of this, there's only really one. It's nothing against Gregory Peck. I'm sure it was a directorial decision. It's just how he delivers some of his lines of monologue, honestly, is a little too outdated for what this film was probably supposed to be. Like, honestly, imagine Marlon Brando playing Father Merrin in The Exorcist. This is kind of how that feels for me. Now, some people may disagree with that. I don't know. You can let me know in the comment sections down below if you disagree with that or not. It's just, if I had to take a con out of this, it would be that. So, we're out here 50 years later, and does it still hold up? And my answer is yes. Absolutely, it still holds up. And I didn't mention this in the beginning of the video, but we have a ranking system now where there's 5 pumpkins for an absolute classic, 4 for a horror gem, and then 3 middle of the road. 4th place with 2 pumpkins is I Need a Beer. And then the rotten pumpkin, what the hell? So with that ranking that Sean and I are going to do in the future, I've got to give this an all-time classic. It is 5 pumpkins out of 5 pumpkins. Like, this is an incredible masterpiece, and it's still just incredible today as it was in 1976. This is one of those all-time horror classics that you're never going to get away from. And with that, please, just so you don't miss any more content, please like, share, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. For $3 a month on Patreon, you can follow us at patreon.com. Frequency 140 Podcast, where you can get all of our content. You can get a wrestling channel, the movie channel, the video games and toy channel that's launching next month, in which Miss Mandy will be coming back, trust me. And then with that being said, I have to steal a saying from my good buddy Mr. Bennett. Freaks, geeks, nerds, unite. Let's take over the world. Peace. Also, watch a damn movie.